Hello, this is Deborah Cohen. I thank you for joining me on my weekly podcast, A Story and a Song, every Sunday morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Today we're going to talk about a new singing circle that I'm going to facilitate at my local synagogue starting on Erev Shavuot, June 11th, 2024. And the first thing when I invite people to come, usually what I hear is when I say, would you like to join my singing circle or our singing circle? The first response most of the time I get is, oh, I can't sing, or you don't want to hear me sing, or whatever the response is. And it's absolutely not true. Maybe your physical talent is lacking, but I'm talking about singing from your soul. It's a different source. It's not just your physical body. You're actually tapping into your soul. I can say that I've experienced this. This is how I can teach with validity. So let me start by saying, while you're getting hopefully comfortable to listen to this next half hour, I'd like to share an excerpt from the Siddur that our synagogue uses, Lev Shalem. And if you do have this book, it's on page 143 in the top left corner on the left page. I will sing. Sometimes we sing to ourselves. No one else hears the sound, yet our minds are singing. Sometimes we sing, our vocal cords voice a tune, and all can hear it and recognize it. Now that's your physical voice, that those that say they can't sing, they're talking about that voice. And sometimes we sing, and every cell of our bodies contain the song. Such songs transform both the singer and the listener. That is the way that the people Israel sang as they were saved in crossing the sea. And that is Netivot Shalom commentary. So what I'm trying to help us find and understand and learn about in the singing circle is to express your soul's voice. That's why I call this circle Soul Sing. Let your soul sing. If this interests you at all, and I hope it does because it is transforming, then find a comfortable place to listen in the next 30-ish minutes, and I will be right back after this brief message. Hello, this is Deborah Cohen Music, and I'm so glad that you took the time to listen to my podcast, A Story and a Song. It's about my life, to share some wisdom and some mistakes, hopefully that we can learn from together and laugh at maybe, starting in the 80s in a new wave rock band in Boston with 2 singles that are still available on Spotify. Boston Nights and Dreamin'. And then on my worldly journey that we're all on, I morphed into a spiritually dominant being where I am a truth seeker and write songs of praise while having one foot in the world writing sync music. So listen up and share. And again, this is Deborah Cohen, and I am broadcasting live on YouTube. My channel handle is at Jewish Rock Music. So my handle on Instagram is at Deborah Cohen Music, DOTCOM. So let us begin. And again, we're talking about your soul sing. All right. I am trying to teach people because I've discovered how to tap into the soul's voice. I never heard anybody teach on this. I never understood that your physical voice is different from your soul voice. In the same person, if you look at yourself as a spirit being, you probably are better able to fathom the idea that your soul's expression in song to God, we're talking about praise, is much richer, much deeper, much more encompassing. And like I read before we went out for the first break, transforming not only for the person singing, but also for those listening. So anybody that goes to the synagogue that I attend knows I am singing not just loudly. Thank you for joining me, Accidental Mart 1. Today's topic is finding your soul's voice. I'm not just singing loud for the sake of being heard. That would be a mistake. That means you really don't know me. But, God says in the Bible, this would interest Christians and Jews, seek God with all of your heart, mind, soul, and spirit. So when that seeking not only means reading, seeking, but singing, when you're trying to get closer to God, and the Hebrew word we'll learn today is devekut. Devekut. Devekut is a cleaving sound, which in other words is closeness to God. This is for people who want to get closer to the Creator. I hope that's all of you listening today. Devekut. So I'm going to share some introductory information on explaining more about Devekut and the singing circle and the purpose of it, because like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, when I invite people to my singing circle, usually most people say right off the bat, I can't sing. Oh, you don't want to hear me sing. Oh, I don't. Maybe physically you cannot. So what do you think school is for? Do you think everybody's born with their skills perfected? No. Your voice is no different. It's like a diamond in the rough. It's carbon. So you have to work on your voice to find the soul voice. So that means you have to get rid of all of those stinking thinking thoughts that are in there that say, oh, maybe you can't sing. Honestly, cannot. Maybe you croak like a frog, but you know what? Even the frogs sing to God. Let everything that has breath praise God. So it's possible. It might take a lot of work. It might take more work for you than somebody else. So the first thing when you get in the singing circle is to be open to transformation. It's a class. You have to practice singing. You have to get over yourself. You have to have the confidence to at least be able to sing in front of people. Now, a lot of people don't. I did not, because my mother was so verbally abusive. I shut down. I used to sing to Beatles songs in my room. I'd have a singing session in my bedroom, and my mother just destroyed me with her words. So I had to go to a psychologist to learn how to sing again in front of people without fear. I was full of fear from criticism from people that are unhealthy. So maybe somebody told you that you cannot sing. Well, maybe you need to remove yourself from those kind of people that make you feel less than. You want to be around people that make you feel more than. So I want you to come to my singing circle, even if you do croak like a frog. And nobody's going to laugh at you. Nobody's going to criticize you, because I'm making it clear, like I will in the singing circle. If you say anything derogatory or laugh at anybody that's trying to find their voice, I'll dismiss you from the circle. Okay, so let's find out about why it's so important to sing. Elie Wiesel remarked, in every one of my novels, there is always somebody who feels the sacred urge to sing. What are we doing with words if not trying to turn them into song? End quote. Elie Wiesel, he wrote about the Holocaust. Rabbi Abraham Heschel wrote in his essay, The Vocation of a Cantor, quote, the call to prayer often falls against an iron wall. The congregation is not always open and ready to worship. The cantor has to pierce the armor of indifference to fight for a response. Often the cantor must first be one who awakens those who slumber. So as a side note, if you're up there just droning on at the bima, which I've heard, you're not going to awaken anybody. You're probably going to put them to sleep, which is why if you look around in the congregation, their eyes are closed. They might say, oh, they're meditating, but no, they're not. When their head starts rolling over, you know they're not meditating. They're falling asleep. So the cantor's job up there is to stir people up, but you have to be stirred up yourself first. Otherwise, you probably need to spend more time with God. It's one thing to do a lot of stuff for God, which is commendable, but if you shortchange your own time with God, it's going to show up as a cantor. Often the cantor must first be the one who awakens those who slumber. Responsiveness may waste away for lack of new inspiration, just as fire burns itself out for lack of fuel. And this is Rabbi Abraham Heschel talking, and I totally agree with him. Music is not an end in itself, but a means of religious experience. I'm talking about experience. I learned how to experience music with Jimi Hendrix, but that's more like that's not soul singing. That's a different kind of high, but I understand it has the same feelings. It is rather a reaching out toward a realm that lies beyond the reach of verbal proposition. Music endows us with moments in which the sense of the ineffable becomes alive. You could actually feel the Shekhinah, the presence of God. Who doesn't want to feel God's presence? Music endows us with moments, as I just said, in which the sense of the ineffable becomes alive. Song is a sphere that will admit even the poor in faith. The cantorial voice is a door. So, for those of you that go to the congregation that I attend, my voice is a door. It's a door that transcends not only myself, but it's a door to the Shamayim for all of those that hear. I hope and I want everybody to experience that Shekhinah, presence of Hashem. Music is the soul of language. All we have are words in the liturgy and reverence in our hearts. But even those two are often apart from each other. It is the task of music to bring them together. If you come out of a 3-hour Shabbat service and you are feeling the same as when you came in, then something's lacking. And if you're not singing, that's probably it. But if you're not inspired to sing, that's the other it. Words die of routine. The cantor's task is to bring them to life. Anybody that knows my Rabbi Danny knows she is extremely skilled in bringing the congregation to life with her voice. A cantor is a person who knows the secret of the resurrection of the words. There is the liturgy, but there is also an inner approach and response to it, a way of giving life to the words, a style in which the words become a personal and unique utterance. So if you see people up at the, or you want to call it the altar, the bima, whatever you want to call it, and they're singing for themselves, if you have any kind of discernment, you can tell. It's like watching the contest on TV for the best singer. That's not going to be transforming. That might be like, oh, wasn't that a great song? Or, oh, isn't he or she a great singer? You've missed it, people. That cantor or that singer has missed the reason why they're up there. Or maybe they're up there for the wrong reason, for just themselves. Unfortunately, that's abundant. Okay. The word is dark. This is the task of those who pray. Kindle a light in the word. One who succeeds in kindling a light within the word will discover that the word has kindled a light within his or her soul. Rabbi Kalonymus Shapira in 1889 through 1943 advised, quote, "Sing to uncover and propel your soul upward. Melody is one of the keys of the soul. Feel your soul emerge in song. Feel your soul emerge in song. You must use the moment of opportunity. Do not recite psalms as a transcript, which I've heard too often. Psalms are meant to be sung, people. In our Siddur, that's what it says, starting with Psalm 19 on Shabbat. That's supposed to be a transcending experience. Experience feeling, intensity, and even fervor. If your emotions are so great and powerful that you cannot contain yourself and you cannot prevent yourself from singing, or you cannot allow yourself to sing mechanically, that is fervor. Fervor. Try stopping all of your movements. If you really have reached a state of fervor, your burning spirit will not let you rest. That's when my arms start flinging. And I have to try to control myself because I don't want people to focus on me at the bima because I'm flailing like Joe Cocker, although I do that behind closed doors because I know there's nobody watching except Hashem. You know, come on, people, wake up. Break the klipa. Get rid of that crusty outer shell that lays upon all of us after a hard week's work or whatever you're doing during the week. If you really have reached a state of fervor, your burning spirit will not let you rest. If after you stop your movements, you fall so low that you could enter into a trivial conversation, and that doesn't bother you in the least, which happens, that means you have not experienced feeling. So, if after being in the Shabbat service for 3+ hours and the service is over and you get to talking with people and the first thing you talk about is just yourself, that's a real clue that person has not had an elevating experience. Or if they want to talk about issues of the day or news of the week, folks, really, get higher, will you? Higher. I mean, I've had people say, "Are you on drugs?" I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm seriously not, other than high blood pressure medication. What's your problem? Are you on downers? Okay. If your song is accompanied by feelings, nothing more than feelings. Okay. So when you stop, you will experience a sort of pain in your heart that results from your yearning for Hashem. And believe me, I feel that. After the Torah service is over, after Shabbat service is over, I just want to keep singing. I don't want to break for lunch. I don't care what's on the table. But, you know, that's what everybody else does. So you kind of like go there and try to get excited about the oneg. Yeah, I know. I get excited. I could lose a few pounds. Obviously, I enjoy it more than I should. I know. Okay, so let's continue on. But let me do a short break, I think, if I can find my ads. And I'll be right back. Butterflies make me smile. God sends butterflies to me to let me know He's watching. He loves us. He gave us His beautiful nature. So smile. So this has been a little snippet of my first singing circle, which will start on Erev Shavuot, June 11th. And I hope that the synagogue will post it in the bulletin soon. But when you see the invitation to sing, please like I'm just play acting right now. Would you please join my singing circle? It's called Soul Singing, and it will be on a Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If the first thing that you want to say is, I can't sing, bite your tongue. Don't say that. This class is for you. This class is for everyone that's breathing. You have a soul. If you've never experienced soul singing, it might take you years before you actually feel it, because you've got to get over the self-consciousness and get into a higher elevation, like I just explained. If this interests you, I hope to see you there. And if it won't be online, but who knows? Maybe they will record it. I don't know. It would be nice if they did. So thank you for listening. And I also want to put a plug in. If you look on my left shoulder, that way, I have a new book. It's called Jewish Palestine, Arab Palestine, A History of Conflict. It's been out a week. And after the October 7th massacre, I felt such a burden of what could I do to help Israel. And I thought, I saw this documentary, Birth of a Conflict, and I was compelled to write this book, which would be great in a Bible study or in a book club, because it's short enough to share without being like saturated with trying to understand the Middle East conflict. Who isn't overwhelmed? We've been trying to do this two-state solution for years with presidents of the United States and whoever else is involved in trying to tell Israel how to run their government. Seriously, I'm not going to get in a role. Never mind. Okay, so if you're interested in this book, please look for it on Amazon. It is in paperback, Kindle, and hardcover. The difference with the hardcover, which is why it's more money, is it's in color, whereas Kindle is black and white, and so is the paperback. But it'll help us all to understand the historically documented origins of Palestine under British rule, which will help you to understand who started this mess in the Middle East. And then equipped with knowledge and not propaganda, which only propaganda fuels hatred. So if you hate, you are believing the lies that are out there. But if you love, or maybe you're sitting on the fence and you really don't understand it all, this would be a good beginner book for you, because I try to keep it short and digestible and easy to understand. So Jewish Palestine, Arab Palestine, and if you want to take one step further and write a good book review, then this next video is for you. I hope to see you again next Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on A Story and a Song. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you again next week. We do what we can to make this world a better place, if we have love in our hearts. So one way of dealing with today's hate against the Jews and Israel is to provide knowledge in the form of an ebook entitled Jewish Palestine, Arab Palestine, A History of Conflict. It's on Amazon, in ebook, and soon to be available in paperback to get into today's classrooms to stop this senseless hatred toward other human beings. This book is inspired by the documentary Birth of a Conflict. This ebook is a summary of events that led up to the Jewish Palestinians regaining their land, and why the Arab Palestinians did not achieve statehood at the time of the British mandates. Through a series of testimonies made available through audio recordings from the Palestinian police and by interviews recorded in a secret British document that was discovered in the UK, we can finally understand how this conflict began in the Middle East. This is a must-read for every person engaged in discussions today about the Muslim-Jewish conflict. Look for it today on Amazon.com. Jewish Palestine, Arab Palestine, A History of Conflict by author Deborah Cohen. This is Deborah Cohen showing you how easy it is to do a book review on Amazon for my new book, Jewish Palestine, Arab Palestine, A History of Conflict. You can comment on Kindle, hardcover, paperback, or maybe all three. The difference in the hardcover is it's in color, whereas the Kindle is black and white, and so is the paperback. So once you find the listing by doing a search on Amazon, Jewish Palestine, Arab Palestine, you scroll down to the bottom past the product details. You can even show or create a video of yourself holding the book, which is very cool, and telling what you like about the book. Here are the reviews so far, a week after the book has been released. Simply give me, hopefully, 5 stars. And as my friend, family, and people that support Israel, this is a way to give 5 minutes of your time to do something for Israel, because it increases exposure to this book, which talks about the origins of Israel and Palestine and how Israel is Israel today and the state of Palestine is not, based on documentary historical facts. Let's fight the propaganda war together. Take 5 minutes and help the author and help Israel now.